What's up? This is Spencer.
This is Tamika.
And we are back for another episode. This will be our last episode in March. And March is Women's History Month. So I decided to interview the most important women's, other than my mother, in my life. So today we are interviewing our oldest daughter. Hey,
Hi.
baby.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good.
Good. Today is going to be just questions off the cuff. I really wanted to interview her because, she's getting older, so things are happening differently in her life. And, I just really wanted to talk about our experience as a family that came together. So today, that's what this topic is going to be about. Just young kids today and our family dynamic. So how are you today, baby?
Good. How are you?
Good. What did you do today?
This science and self-studies.
Yeah? You got A's in your scale?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So, when I first came around, you were 4. You were 4 years old when I first started talking to mommy and dating mommy.
No, that was like 7 years ago.
That was 7 years ago. That was 7 years ago. Yeah, you're pretty good with the math in your head. She's smart too, ladies and gentlemen.
Extremely.
So you were 4. You had just turned 4. Because me and mommy met like in June or July. I know it was before my birthday because it was summertime. So you had just turned 4. I remember the first time meeting you, you had came out into the living room. And mommy was like, "This is my friend, Mr. Spencer." And you were groggy. Do you remember what you did?
Yeah, I think I had a bad dream. I came and hugged you.
That's exactly what you did. It kind of weirded me out, but it was so sweet. Like, I was like, okay, I can see myself with these ladies. It was the sweetest thing in the world. And
I was not ready for you guys to meet. That was just like, I was not ready.
Yeah, mommy cried. I thought she was freaking out, but I later learned that's just mommy's personality.
Forget you.
And then later on, our family's first date as a family, we went to the aquarium. And then you saw me kissing mommy.
You kissed him. I don't like that.
That's what you said, which was hilarious to mommy. I really wasn't paying attention. I was nervous to kiss her in front of you, to be honest. I never told y'all that. I was nervous to kiss mommy in front of you. But it was like Lily, which is what you call your grandmother. Lily was the one who told us. She was like, if y'all are going to date, she's going to have to get used to it. So that was why I was like, okay, I might as well just go for this.
Yeah, she was not happy. She was like, look, you can take us to the aquarium, but you don't come near my mother. Keep your crummy pits and hands and lips on my mommy.
So when you first met me, you used to call me Mr. Spencer.
And then it was Mr. Pop. Or was it just Pop?
It was just Pop.
Oh.
No,
that was
Auntie Cat.
Yeah, because that was my nickname in Job Corps, Pop. And then you called me Pop. What made you decide to call me Dad?
I don't remember, honestly. I think it was just like, we were hanging out so much that I was just like, I'm going to start calling him Dad. And I remember, like, I drew, I don't know if you still have the picture, but I drew a picture, and I think I put Dad on it.
I remember the picture. It was you, me, and mommy that you drew.
Yeah.
And you had mommy and you had Dad. I do remember the picture. Yeah, but you were like 5. You're 11 now. I don't think. I'm not like mommy. I don't keep them forever. But I do remember the picture. You drew it when you was at Star Child.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the picture very vividly. So, like, at what point did you feel comfortable with me coming around?
Like,
coming around like the house or coming around?
Yeah, like on a regular basis. Because at first it was just weekends, like maybe every other weekend. And then it started becoming more frequent. Like even during the weekdays. Like I remember when, because like I said, she was 4 when we met. And so by the time she was turning 5, she was graduating from pre-K. And I remember you was like, are you coming to her pre-K graduation? I was like, I don't know if I'm really coming. Because I didn't know if she wanted me there. And she was the one who asked me. She was like, Papa, will you come? And I was like, if you want me there. And she's like, yes, I want you there. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's when for me, that's when it started feeling like, okay, maybe she is the one who wants me around and not so much like because her mother, she could tell her mother likes me, like,
right.
She seems to want me around.
She wants you around even when I don't.
Yeah, that's true. That's because you got a personality problem. So at what point did you feel like, okay, this guy's pretty cool. He can come around?
I think after, like, in the old place, we played the Goosebumps game. No, not the Goosebumps. Ghostbusters.
Okay. Yeah. We used to play more board games. We don't play board games like we used to.
Yeah.
You played Ghostbuster?
No, the video game.
The video game. And
I'm like, you went to board game? Like, we got a Ghostbuster board game?
No. I was just thinking. And for those who are questioning, Cece is in the building. She's over in the corner, trying to fight sleep, but she's...
It's not a corner. She right in front of us.
She is, but she's rocking, trying to fight sleep. She's just being nosy right now.
She's trying to figure out who we talking to.
There go them slow blinks. So yeah, probably you say around the time we started playing video games, and you kind of realized I was a pretty cool guy.
Yeah,
that's cool. I remember, like, when I first started coming around, and you was at Star Child. Because now it's like, if you invite one person from your class, you have to invite everybody. Yeah. So I remember, like, when I first started coming around, constantly going to different classmates' birthday parties. And it was always the same group of parents. And, like, me and Mommy, that's when, like, me and Mommy started, like, talking about people. Like, that's when we started, like, realizing, like, we love to sit there and just kind of talk about people.
That's the only reason we go anywhere.
Basically. That was hilarious. It's still fun, to be truthfully honest.
I want to ask you, how did you feel when you found out that Dad proposed to me? Asked me to marry him.
Okay, first I was kind of startled because you dropped me on the ground. Okay? And then...
I did not drop you. I placed. Okay, I placed. You was heavy.
Very hard. She placed you very hard.
You could have woke up. Like, you could have walked into the house. You could have did that. But you didn't. You need to take some ownership for that. You old enough to do that now. So answer the question.
I felt happy because I knew he was a good person.
Oh.
And then I wanted a dog.
Okay.
I'm just telling you the sequence. Like,
we were going to get a dog regardless.
I remember when I don't know, I think it was the first time we went to the wedding venue. Because that was the first time that we actually paid to, like, hold a spot for us.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember when we were at the actual venue. Because I think you really were happy, but I think you were nervous about the dynamics of our family changing. And I remember you sitting on my lap and you just started crying. And I was like, what's wrong? And you didn't want to say it. And I was like, do you think things are going to change? And you was like, yeah. And I was like, how? Like, what were you scared of so much at that point?
I don't remember that at all.
You don't remember that? You were sitting on my lap and you was crying because you were thinking things was going to change, which they were and they did. But I remember you crying and you were nervous. Like, I asked you, I was like, do you want Pop to be, I think at that time you were already calling me Dad. And I was like, do you want Dad to be around and be with Mommy? And you was like, yeah. I was like, well, if we're going to do this, we have to get married. And you was like, yeah, I know. Like, you were almost like Mommy, where you was like, you had different personalities.
I think it was...
You don't stop talking about me.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you there.
I will flip this table.
I think it was a mix of that and that we were talking about me being like a flower girl. And you know how I have stage fright?
Oh, okay.
I don't like, walking in, because I feel like, that feeling where you think everybody's gonna laugh at you or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are very shy, aren't you? To an extent.
Now, how did you feel about like introducing me to your friends when I first started coming around? Like I said, when I first started going to like the birthday parties and all that kind of stuff. Because I remember everybody, it was like, you had been going to Star Child since she was what? 1? So you have been around these people for like the last 3 years, and then all of a sudden I would come around and they'd be like, Anastasia, who's that? And you're like, that's my dad. But like you would say it so naturally, like you didn't think twice about it. You was like, that's my dad. And you like run off and go play. But how was that? Like, did you have to have those kind of conversations with your friends? Like what was that?
Honestly, I kind of showed it off to them because you were like really cool, and I told them everything that, from video games to, going to parks and stuff. I honestly just, it was kind of a flex.
Oh, okay. So you had already told them about me before I met.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's cool. So by the time they had met me, and you was kind of like, that's my dad. They just kind of accepted it for what it was.
Yeah, they were like, oh, okay.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I remember when we went to the zoo, we had a good time. But one I remember the most is when we went to Fun Spot and you got scared on the water ride and got stuck in the middle.
That happened like 5 times.
And mommy jumped over the border and almost into the water. She ain't have to get in the water because your thing came close enough to us to where she could but she did have to do a little jump to get to you.
I climbed over the fence.
Yeah.
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 Mm.
Mama came to get her baby.
Mom.
What? You needed me. I had to get to you.
Yes, that was an outing within itself. I remember we used to take you to parent date night. And sometimes you didn't want to go.
Oh, parents' night out?
Yeah. And sometimes you didn't want to go. Why? Sometimes you was excited because you was like, oh yeah, I get to hang with my friends. But other times you was like, hey, I don't really want to.
Because I honestly just want to stay home and just like play board games with y'all. And then I just like accepted it, And that's when I started getting excited to go. And things that I realize now, that this is kind of off topic, but the games that they had there was like, Game Boys and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Game
Boys came out when Daddy was your age.
Yeah, like those GameCubes.
Okay. Oh, the newer ones, okay.
No,
the old ones?
Yeah, the old GameCubes. And that's what I didn't know. Me having a Nintendo Switch, it's like brought me to know like a lot about game history.
Okay.
Because the GameCube, now I know that it's very old. But when I didn't know anything about video games, I was like, oh, this is like, new generation stuff. Mm-hmm. But now I'm like, no, that's like old stuff.
Mm-hmm. Now, as a kid, Daddy had a stepdad too. But he was only with my mom for, I want to say, 3 years before they eventually separated and got a divorce. So I never got close to him. At what point did you feel like, okay, this is a guy who I can trust?
I'd like to say, like, when it was closer, like 2 years before the wedding day. Like, okay. Wedding time.
And we was together for, 4 years before we got married? So, around year 2?
What? 2 year point.
Yeah, because we've been together for 7 years.
Jesus Christ.
So, about 2 years in, when you was like, you can trust me.
What makes you think you can trust him?
Just the way that he acted around you, and even when you weren't around, then he didn't change.
That's very true. I'm pretty consistent.
Like, he wasn't like, when you were around, he was nice, and then he left, and he was like completely, mean. He just calm.
She does tell me that all the time. She's like, you're the calmer one out of, well, both of y'all tell me that, like, you're the calmer out of the two of us.
You got time for calm. I'm storming.
You gotta be able to hear the kids out, man.
I hear you. That's storming.
I hear you.
Why do you play Fortnite so much?
Because the game is genuinely fun. Like, and I like first shooter games. Is that first? Yeah, it is. I like first shooter games. I just like the experience of Fortnite, and since